Today is the 6th day of May 2020. And boy, it's hard being Abaconian with what's going on in Abaco and what the government isn't doing. But it's twice as hard. I know it. The FNM is proud, but it's twice as hard to be an FNM in Mashaba. I know if the past chairman of the FNM in Mashaba was alive, they would be scratching their head until blood comes. That is what happens when you have a racist like Victor Patterson that named his son Casper. Then he adopted another boy and named him after another ghost. And you have that racist FNM committee, candidates committee. They are racist to the core. Blacks cannot put their name forward to run for the FNM in Abaco 2020. I remember I was invited to AID and they had a meeting to introduce a man who was minister in the FNM government, Desmond Bannister, to succeed Edison Key. Without even telling Edison Key that Desmond Bannister was their choice to succeed him. The white elites said, we don't know if we could sell that to our kids. We don't know who Desmond Bannister is. I say, what? He was just a minister in the FNM government previous. How you mean you don't know who he is? They said openly, in their own way, that we ain't let no Negro run for the FNM in Mashaba. I was at the meeting in Mashaba when they were trying to axe Edison. And somebody I thought was my friend who have already run first generation German from Germany, already run and was an MP, told Kai Mills how dare he put his name to run for Mashaba. I said, my father is Archer. My uncle Shervin Archer was already an MP. I got politics in my blood. I am a 10th generation Bohemian and Abaconian. You are first generation German. How dare you ask Kai Mills who gives him the authority to put his name forward to run for Mashaba. You know how far Germany is from Abaco? I ain't spoke to him since that day. Racist Germans and the rest of them racists in Mashaba. But the question, oh, how they hated Penland, tried to blow him up. I was there on the dock. Boom. You could feel the water spray when the bomb went off. But the question to Mashaba, one of the racist places in the Bahamas. They don't like me and they call that black and white, but it is what it is. I live it. Do you think Penland, Lyndon Oscar Penland, by far the best prime minister of the country, the only man that tried to uplift his people. Hubert Ingram, a zero. You imagine 35 years. I keep saying this. 35 years, Hubert Ingram brought nothing to Abaco that you could make a living. No industry, nothing of tourism, nothing. And what was hard that I supported him. But when Hubert told me, after he was getting $250,000 under the table to secure the deeds for $3.5 million property, and I asked Hubert Ingram, allow Kai Mills to make $15 to bring these rich people from the airport to the docks. Hubert told Kai, leave those people alone. Not only that, Baker's Bay had Hubert that was so corrupt that they didn't even license their vehicles. They were acting as taxi drivers. The whole time he was getting $250,000, never licensed their vehicles, competing against Albury's Ferry, charging $165 a person to go to Guana Key, and the normal fare was $25. And Hubert allowed that to happen all his time. But the question to Mar Shaba, do you think the best prime minister in the history of this country, who y'all said weren't even Bahamian, with Lyndon Oscar Pinlin, not come to the aid of Mar Shaba, although Mar Shaba never supported the PLP? Very, very seldom they did. Do you think what the F&M government is doing to you, F&Ms in Mar Shaba, would Lyndon Pinlin do the same thing? I think not. He would allow Abaco to help to rebuild Abaco. All the monies that Hubert Minnis allowed for the construction, all this heavy equipment to come into Abaco, Pinlin will say no. We got Collie Bulldozing, we got Big Cat, they have the equipment there. They should be first to help to rebuild their homes. All the monies that were collected on behalf of Abaco, Linden would have made sure that we sit at the table to decide a way forward. Linden would have come to the funeral. Linden would have made sure that the police band was there, the Defense Force band was there, state-run television was there, because Linden would have recognized this was a dark chapter in the lives of Bahamians. Mar Shaba, Linden would have never let her dead stay on a trailer, in a trailer, like garbage for 9 months. The Lyndon Oscar Pinlin that Kai know would never have this happen. He would have made sure that everybody that lost their loved one was present and had an up front seat. Lyndon wouldn't have done like Hiram Lewis and K. Forbes Smith done. Brought in the preacher. Even to the first memorial, I felt so heartbroken that Miss Penn didn't think that we had anybody that could sing. She brought in the preacher. She brought in the organist. She brought in the singers. She said she's Abaconian. But there's some preachers. There's a lot of preachers, what Miss Penn doesn't know, that went through the storm. And boy, they could have preached that memorial better than the little preacher that you brought in. We had some singers, and still got them in Abaco, could have sing better than those guys that you brought from Full Gospel. You see, if you already think about Abaconian, Abaco should have been involved. That memorial was not for Abaco, that was for Miss Penn and trying to big her up. Even I felt so remorseful because Kai was the one that started the story of the dead in the trailer. Miss Penn came after me and she took it up as her baby. I said, how come I'm not on the program? I asked her, well, Miss Penn, how come I'm not on the program? Oh, this ain't political. It ain't political? And you provided your boy Sabas? You provided, you invited the opposition to try to put your foot in to run for North Abaco? How was not political? And you brought these people and put them up front when Kai didn't even have a seat at the table? After 9 months of Kai screaming and shouting and they're getting locked up and shot by the defense force? It's all about them. And the second memorial, you think Linden will have the preacher from Nassau preaching? Everybody was in there from Nassau. Nobody recognized the persons, the preachers, the EMS, the people at the clinic that were there smelling the dead bodies for 9 months. They were not recognized. It was never about Abaco. It was all about K. Forbes Smith, Hiram Lewis, and the rest of the cronies. That is why we never got closure. But Marshall, as I said and I started, if Sir Lyndon was alive today, we would have had better response. If Sir Lyndon was alive today, he would have put all his power into Abaco to make sure that we had water. If Sir Lyndon was alive today, Marshaba, we would have had electricity 5 months ago. The people that you rare and envy and hate, these are the people that the Bible spoke about, the stone that the builder refused. Do you think Kai Mills, if he was member of parliament, in my small way, all of those cronies would have come from Nassau and suck up the money? You think if Kai Mills was member of parliament, north or south, our dead would have stayed on the side of the road for 9 months. It's one of these Kai Care videos. Still, let you know that we deserve better, but only if you have that right person speaking on behalf of you at the highest point. Kai is that such person that is willing to sacrifice on behalf of you. That is why it's so fearless, because I speak not for myself, but for people that need somebody to cry in the wilderness, help, help, please, FNM weightless government, help the people of Abaco. We are in dire needs. We're sleeping in tents. We're sleeping in cars. We're sleeping on cardboard in the bushes. When, oh when, FNM, Darren Henfield, James Albury, the most honorable Prime Minister, are you going to come to the rescue of Abaco and Abaconians 9 months in? You're live with Kai on WCAY, letting this white nothing FNM government to know that we still are Bahamians, and Bahamians should be first in this country. Kai cares.